everyone, Stephanie Kirschner here at SDA National Headquarters. Looking forward to another weekend, but I wanted to bring you a quick message this week as we continue with some of our blog information and video. We're striking new ground. Sabrina set the tone a couple of weeks ago and she asked me to do the same, so here we go. I just want you to know I have big plans for today. I was going to get up early, have a cup of tea, take care of the dog, you know, the normal stuff that we all have to deal with first thing in the morning. And then I was going to get ready and head out to my breakfast meeting. Just another day at the office, right? So I had the TV on and I was watching the local news and going to catch up on the weather. And all of a sudden, bam, the TV went black, as did the rest of the house. It took me a minute to realize that that was what was going on, that I hadn't lost the remote or hit the remote somehow. And I was like, what the heck? No power. Now the sun hadn't come up yet. I was up pretty early and it was pretty dark. So I reached for my phone and my flashlight app to make my way up the hallway. And as I did, I was heading to the kitchen to find a real flashlight so that it would get a little more light on in my vision so that I could see where I was going. And I got to the living room where the dog was in the kennel, and even he was sort of like, hey, who turned out the lights in my room? So I got the flashlight, I sat down at the kitchen counter, and I proceeded to call up my phone and logged into my local energy company app to say, hey, I'm out of power. So I filled out all the information, and it came back, you're the second one to report it, and estimated time of repair was 3 hours. 3 hours! Oh, my brain started to chatter. Great. You need to do a few things at your desk before you leave. And remember that article you were going to print out and take to the meeting? Wow, it's a good thing you printed that document out to take to the person you were meeting with last night, so at least you have that. And that went on and on and on. And then all of a sudden my brain went, oh, wait a minute, no power? How are you going to dry your hair? Oh my goodness, what a day. Anyway, I got through all of that and I got to thinking, you know, in the grand scheme of life, going without power isn't that bad. It wasn't going to be the end of my world. Yes, I had to do without my cup of tea, and those of you that know me know that I love my tea. I drank a glass of water instead, which was better for me, right? And I managed to navigate my way through the morning and get ready and get out the door. I even figured out how to open the garage door without my remote. Like the old-fashioned way, I lifted the door after I figured out how to disconnect it. And before I headed out the door, I took one moment to take a pen and paper and jot a few things when I got back to the office, things I needed to do that I normally would have done on my computer, but, you know, no power, no computer. So even though my brain was yakking at me in the initial moments of darkness, I managed to make it through that time. And when I got in the car and started driving away, my brain, some clarity sort of came to me and said, you know, even without technology, life goes on. Yes, I'm old enough to remember the before technology time. But technology is a good thing, but it also reminds us that it makes us crazy sometimes. Now in the office, what happens if the power goes off? Everybody goes crazy. Because why? We bill for hours. It's costly. It's killing us. We can't make any money if people can't do their stuff at the computer. And so everybody's losing their head and panicking. What's my point in telling you that my power was off this morning? I mean, I'm sure you're all like, that's nice, Stephanie, but why are you sharing that? Well, here's the thing. When things are out of control or out of your control, start to watch your self-talk and start to think about how you can change the thinking from panic to being more positive. Let's just say it that way. So if we stop looking at everything as a threat or we can't and look at it as an opportunity and we can, perspective eventually will kick in. Now I knew I was safe. The sun did come up and there was, in that hour, I didn't have to panic. I knew that the power was going to come back on even in 3 hours. And yes, it's hot here in the end of July, but we were going to be okay. And so what I also realized was, well, I had a few extra minutes because had I come into the office and done all those things, I would have waited till the last second and then went, oh crap, I got to get out the door. So I had a few extra minutes. I didn't have to rush. I was breathing calmly. I wasn't getting in the car and flying up the road. So my question is to you this. Can you take that kind of a perspective to your office? And when things happen, whether it's the power or some other panic mode that everybody gets into, can you be the one that's calm, cool, and collected and lead in your office when everyone else is in that panic? By the way, I went to the meeting with really damp hair. Thank goodness for hair bands. And no one commented or even noticed, I think. Which makes me think I might have a newfound freedom and I might buy myself a few extra minutes by not having to dry my hair. So what kind of chatter gets going on in your head? That clutter talk, as I call it. When things are going crazy, what kind of self-talk do you hear in your head? And what do you do to change your perspective? I'd love to hear your comments. Put them in the box below, and I'll see you next month. From SDA National Headquarters, Stephanie Kirschner signing off. Till next month. Take care now. Bye-bye.